regular office desk job in the United States. Would it be the same job as working in Paris? No, it wouldn't, because it'd be different cultures, everything different. Working in another country is very different than working in the United States. Most people don't even get the opportunity to even go on vacation in a different country, let alone work there for a certain amount of time. The medical industry is very different in the United States than it is in other countries because it's different cultures, different beliefs, different people that are there, different people being treated for different illnesses that wouldn't even happen in the United States. The workplace environment can be good or bad, and can affect the way people do their job. Stated in an article called "The Impact of Healthcare Workers' Job Environment on Their Mental Emotional Health Coping Strategies: The Case of a Local General Hospital." It was written by people who live in other countries or who work in the healthcare industry in other countries, so they understand how their environment is and how crucial it is to being either good at the job or really bad at the job. There are different coping strategies to being really good at the job. People tend to use a problem-solving strategy or a stress management strategy at work. Then in other places than Japan, Thailand, and Korea, which took a more problem-solving angle to the way that people do their job well. Workplace environment came around in 1965, where people felt like the environment in the workplace needed to change, and it was way too detrimental to their mental health, so they wouldn't be able to do the job right. So they decided to switch things up, and it started in Korea and Taiwan, and they were called the newly industrializing countries, which means they were the first ones to push the new work environment law into action. How to adapt in a new workplace. To adapt in a new workplace is by being able to immerse yourself in their country and being able to soak up their culture and beliefs and things they would love to see other people know about them, and being able to use that into your advantage. Adapting in a foreign place can be hard, so therefore you should try to learn how to properly introduce yourself to your coworkers or your employers, and learn how to speak their language so you understand them and they understand you. On the other hand, not all workplace environments are good, and some of them come with issues of their own. In the medical industry, there are lots of issues that come with the job: violence, patients stalking you, and all the things. I've read up on this because I've always wanted to be a nurse. So in Australia, there's a nurse. His name was Graham Levy, and he was attacked by a patient in the mental institution, and he's been working in the nursing industry for over 20 years, and this was his first violent attack. And this was his first time going back to that institution after 2 years. It was a very touching video. 90 to 95% of nurses say they have experienced some type of violence in the workplace, and that I thought that number was way too high, and it really shouldn't be that high because I really thought it was really that low, that they shouldn't have to face that much violence in the workplace since they're there to help people, not harm people. How to overcome and face violence in the workplace. To overcome and face violence in the workplace, you have to be able to know the procedures and policies that your employer has set in place for you, so you don't run into any serious troubles like that. Because all the time, being a nurse or a doctor, you run into people who are mentally ill, people who are not stable, people who think they know better than you and everything like that. And people can get really violent for no reason. So you have to be able to know the policies and the procedures in order to keep yourself safe and your other coworkers safe. Additionally, healthcare workers have to get paid for the hard work they do, and it's actually kind of weird because nurses don't get paid as much as I really thought they do. Nurses actually get paid way less than any other doctors or practitioners or anything like that. How much do they really get paid? A salary report depends on the country that you live in. The highest paying country in the United States for nurses right now is Luxembourg, and the second highest would be Norway. And the United States is part of the top 5, but I really thought they'd be part of the top 3. They're not. Your salary really depends on the amount of schooling that you have, because if you have the maximum amount of schooling, you get the maximum amount of pay. If you have the minimum amount of schooling, you get the minimum amount of pay. So that really goes for the way you're getting paid. how it reflects on your work. The way you do your job is the way that you are going to get paid. So if you do the minimum amount of work, you're going to pay the minimum amount of money. If you do the maximum, you're going to get paid the max. But in some ways, in other countries, it's not like that. Because some people do the most at their job, do better at their job than other people, and they still get paid minimum wage or even less than that. And some people do absolutely nothing at the job and still get paid as high. I still get paid so much higher than the person that's doing the most and actually wants to help people. And the wage gap between men and women is very staggering in different countries. The United States is huge, but in other countries like in Europe, it's not as huge. Like in places like France and Norway and Germany, it's not as big as the wage gap is here. Working in a different country can be something very challenging, but also very rewarding at the same time. Although some may think it's going to be a challenge because of the language barrier or they don't understand what you're saying, it's actually very rewarding because you get to work in a different country and you get to see the other people and you get to experience the other cultures that they have in store for you over there. So it just depends on how you view it. And the way some people think working in the United States is so much easier than working out of country. It isn't. And some people think working in the United States is the exact same as working in another country. It isn't. People have different ways. People have different places they have to be. And it's just the way you view it.